Hey, Mindy.
Hey, Bestie.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Got some great news for all you besties out there listening. REMelations has been nominated for not one, but two
Iowa
Podcast
Awards.
Ooh, Mindy's doing
That's like
double
laser
dance.
fingers. I'm
Laser
excited.
finger. Pew, pew.
So excited.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Bestie, we are nominated for Best Comedy Podcast and Host of the Year Ensemble.
It is an honor to be nominated. We are so excited about this awards ceremony. I mean, Brooke and I are already trying to plan our outfits. It is tough. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Do you remember that dream I had where we won an award and Tom Cruise was there? I'm just hoping he's going to show up.
What was the one with the dress?
That was the beige dress dream.
The beige dress.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find something better.
No, because I don't think beige will work.
We can't wait for it. So this awards show is September 15th, 2024. And Bestie, we have a big favor to ask.
Yes.
Not only are we nominated for 2 amazing awards, but there's also a People's Choice Award, which means our besties get to vote for your favorite show.
Which I hope is us.
We keeping our fingers crossed. We have one favor to ask, and that's for you to go to remelations.com/vote, and that will take you to a link where you can cast your vote for REMelations for the People's Choice Award.
Woohoo!
But the fun doesn't stop there, Brooke.
Oh my gosh.
We have another announcement.
Big.
Because not only are we nominated, but we're also doing a live show at the awards. So if you want to see us live, and you're going to be in the Cedar Rapids area, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, that is. It is the Iowa Podcast Awards. That's September 15th, 11 a.m. And again, all the details are going to be on our website, remelations.com/vote, and learn how you can come and see us live.
Woo! I don't know why I just throw woos in.
It's your thing.
I guess it is. I didn't realize it till we did this podcast.
I know.
I can't help it. It's in my blood. All right, Bestie, we are so excited. Thank you so much for being the best besties in the world and listening to us each week. And your support means everything to us.
All right, let's get the show started.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to REMelations. We're your hosts. I'm Mindy.
And I'm Brooke.
REMelations is a dream interpretation podcast where we read listeners' dreams. From nightmares to the just plain bizarre, join us as we give you our comedic interpretation of your fucked up REM cycle. I'm sharing a dream from Tamara this week that has to do with a deadly wine party in coastal Georgia.
Ooh. And we also have great catnaps this week about exorcisms, one-eyed stealing dwarves,
Never trust them.
bus rides with dad, auntie dance parties, and octopus abductions.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be talking about the butterfly people of Joplin, so you're going to want to hear that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, bestie. Grab some tennis balls. You'll know why in a minute. It's very important to defend yourself. And let's get started.
Woo!
I just cracked my whole back. I'm like,
Oh, I bet that felt great.
it did. It just like went. I'm not a big I don't like the sound of back cracking or knuckles.
Mindy, can I tell you the saddest conversation I had with my brother ever?
Yeah.
Was I asked if he'd ever used Salon Pass, which, it's like one of those pain relief patches. And he's like, I use a lidocaine roll-on, like a deodorant. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder which I should use for my aches and pains. And I'm like, this is the most depressing conversation
Gay or
we've
icy
ever
hot
had.
or That's true. It does get sad.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but yeah, we had that conversation.
Good, important conversations to have.
Yeah.
My house smells like banana bread.
Are you making Mindy's famous banana bread?
I made it this morning. I haven't had it yet. It's like cooling. And it smells so good. I cannot wait to be done.
I can't wait to try it because you have told me about your banana bread, and I've told you about my mom's banana bread. And I think we should have
a banana bread off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Char, let's go.
Ooh, last time she put candy pecans in hers, which she's never done before.
It's interesting.
But, my God.
My dad's such a baker. His sticky buns are like so sweet and so much sugar they'll rot your teeth, but delicious.
So worth it.
I don't know how he eats that. Oh, no,
I can get dentures, get different ones. Right?
Get new ones. They're replaceable. Just don't make me go to the goddamn oral surgeon so I don't remember anything again, please. I can't do that again.
No, that's terrible stuff.
Actually, my dentist, when I followed up with my dentist, she's like, "Oh, they didn't take out the last one." I'm like, "Because I didn't think that was part of the order." I had 3 removed. Yeah.
Oh, 3. You had all 4, but you only had 3 removed?
So here's what happened. She gave me 2 orders. One had 3 of them listed. One had 4. I gave the oral surgeon the one that had 3, so they didn't take off the 4th one. She's like, "Oh yeah, we meant for them to take that off." I'm like, "Well, I'm not going through that shit again."
Well,
so it's just gonna have to stay.
You might have.
Well, the cost of it though, I'm like, I don't want to pay for the anesthesia.
Yeah, because it should have all been included in the first one, right? 1 anesthesia.
Yes. So I don't know. It might just stay there forever.
Well, you'll be more wise. You'll be more wise.
Well, you know who is wise is Tamara, because she sent in a dream for us to read, and that's a very, very wise thing to do.
It is a very wise thing to do. Thank you, Tamara.
And Tamara's from Brunswick, Georgia.
Okay.
At my parents' house on a river. Oh, it just goes in the dream. Sorry, it just goes. No intro.
Straight into it.
At my dream starts. At my parents' house on a river in coastal Georgia, we're throwing a big dinner party, and the bottles of Pinot Noir, Malbec, and Cabernet are flowing steady.
Oh, this isn't Lake Rainier, is it? Lake Rainier Lanier.
But I would love to go to this. Sounds like a good party.
Well, it sounds like red wine to me. Are you a red wine fan?
I am. I can drink. I mean, not Cab so much, but I like a Pinot Noir or a Shiraz.
Okay. All right. I'm hearing you.
Everyone was there. My parents, uncles, aunts, my cousin and his wife, and my sister and her husband. Mom and Dad asked me and my cousin to go downstairs and get the case of wine we saved for the party and bring it back upstairs. After a while of searching, we finally found it.
We thought we had drank it, but we found it.
I'd be like, this is a little too heavy. Maybe we should finish one off before we bring it up for the rest.
We should make it lighter before we carry it up the stairs.
Duh. Just a small flight tasting from the wine cellar.
Yes. And you didn't have it all at all planned. Like, you didn't have the little flight, like thing where you put the little shot glasses of each.
I do like that. I do love a good wine flight. After searching a while, we found it. Then I hear this strange noise. So I send my cousin upstairs with the wine, and I go check out the noise that I heard. I don't know if that's a great choice.
I don't like it.
I open the back door, and there on the steps, I find a woman and a man that I don't know.
Randos.
They tackle me, but I slip their grass. Yeah, they wanted that wine real bad. You didn't offer them any.
They wanted that charcuterie and that wine like nobody's business.
They tackle me, but I slip out of their grasp and start pulling bottles of bourbon off the shelf, launching them their way with force.
Wow, they have bourbon and wine?
I want to be your friend.
This is quite the party.
The lady rushes at me with a big hunting knife.
No.
And it hits me square in the stomach. She stabs me a couple more times before I'm able to get a solid left-hand punch in.
Ooh, is she left-handed? I love it.
Okay, yeah.
She must be strong.
Next thing I know, the guy jumps on my back and starts strangling me with a wire. I fight like a wild beast to survive and slam him up against the bar, the shelves, the wall, and the rest of the furniture in the den.
This is not okay.
So she's just slamming up against everything. Everything is broken and covered in my blood. But the party upstairs is too loud, and no one's able to hear the struggle or come to help me.
Ooh, that sucks. And who are these randos sitting on her stairs with all this broken glass? Oh, hate it.
Eventually, the woman rushes at me again and stabs me 10 more times while I'm being strangled.
She's being strangled and stabbed Like 24
simultaneously, yes. I'm finally in my death throes, and I just start asking why. Why did you do this? I don't even know you. I just wanted to spend time with my mom and family. And then I'm lying there and just watching all the cherished memories I've had in my life with my family through the years flash by before my eyes, and I start crying.
Oh.
Just before I die, the killers step over me and out the door as I watch the ceiling fan spin. I feel my heart beat slower and my breathing stop until it just fades to black. Then I woke up with real tears on my face and my roommate asking me if I was okay with a worried look on her face. Yeah. I went to take a hot shower, but I still can't shake how real and violent my dream death was. It was so bad that even Quentin Tarantino would have been put off by how violent it was.
Oh, that's a tough statement to support, but yeah, okay, I'm in.
The worst part ever is no matter how hard I was able to fight, I still died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty bloody.
At least she never gave up.
I know.
That's tough, though. That's tough. Yeah. Especially with randos that you don't know, like,
why?
There's no answers. Like, why?
What did I do?
Are they killing me?
They didn't, like, steal anything. They weren't trying to, like... In dreams, we don't have that many answers, so it's not surprising. True. But why? So personal.
Why? I want to know why. Mindy, before we get into your analysis,
yes,
I just want to say one thing. Besties out there, dreams like this are essential for keeping us coming back to you week after week, because we have wonderful people like Tamara submitting their dreams. We want to hear your dreams. Please submit them. Whether they're one sentence or more or a dream story, we want to hear from you, Bestie. Please submit your dreams, and you can do that by going to REMelations.com/support. You can submit dreams. You can buy our beautiful merch, or even more fun, if you want to get down with the party, you can
get down with the party.
Get down with the party.
Get
you
down
can
with
join
the
our
party.
sleepover squad for our beautiful faces on video footage, additional footage.
And don't forget the blooper reel.
The blooper reel is worth it alone, and it's so affordable, and it keeps us coming back to you week after week. Again, REMelations.com/support. We love you, Bestie. Please do what you can to support us so we can keep coming back to you, and we look forward to it.
Okay, so I see this dream really breaking out into 3 parts.
Okay.
The first part we have is a celebration, right? Things are great. We have family there. Everyone's there. Good times. Wine is flowing. Having a great time. I want to be at this party. Tamara.
Sounds like a good one.
Sounds like fun. What are the appetizers? I want to know.
Because
that can make or break a party.
I'd be happy. What are your favorite appetizers to see at a party?
I love appetizers. If I could just have a meal of appetizers, I'm good. Especially if there's multiple ones. Just let me sample everything.
That? Like just a meal of appetizers. I love those. Like when you do breakfast for dinner, or just a meal of appetizers.
It's a lot. Like sometimes for Christmas for the family, we'll just do appetizers. Like just a ton of appetizers. Love it.
So
what about you? Do you have a favorite?
I love appetizers. I love ham roll-ups. I love crab meat fondue.
Midwest sushi, you're talking?
Midwest sushi? What's Midwest sushi?
Okay, we take a pickle, and then...
you
take the ham, then you put some cream cheese, and then you roll up the pickle, and then you slice it in like a roll. It's Midwest sushi.
Yes, okay. I got you, babe. I got you now. And I love that that's called a Midwest sushi. It cracks me up. But my grandma used to make these, no pickle, but like... basically the same thing, just a ham roll up with cream cheese, and she did something magic with her magical ability. You knew my grandma.
Yep.
She was very special. But I love a crab meat fondue, which is served in like a rye bread bowl with this
crab
pass
meat. That, sure. You can have all
I
that.
know you wouldn't like it. Taco dip. I want meatballs.
7-bean
wings.
Salad.
Oh, I want
7-layer salad. Yeah.
We're just talking about appetizers. I want
deviled
bagel
eggs,
dip, deviled eggs,
nachos.
I want it all. And then we have the meal to come. But like, Oh, I would do an all appetizer meal any day of the week. I love apps.
Yes, me too. That's what I'm picturing Tamara's party to be. Just a good time. So we have this first part, which is very celebratory. We're drinking wine, and alcohol we really haven't talked about too much in the podcast.
No.
Which is interesting because wine and alcohol can have two different dream meanings. Alcohol, more specifically, can be about dependency on something to hide how you're really feeling about a situation or to kind of numb the pain. That? Right? Sure, you know. Whereas wine is seen as a more positive symbol in dreams.
Oh.
Leading to relaxation or celebrating or even escapism, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. Both of them are mood altering, and both of them have to do with releasing your inhibitions.
I love it. Let's eat those apps. Let's eat them.
Let's eat them and let's drink
right up.
Overall, it's good. And it's the other thing to note in this dream, she doesn't mention consuming the wine, but she mentions that it did run out and they have to get some more.
Well, that's the sign of a good party, right? Everyone's having fun.
Yeah, even Jesus had to replenish. So
I mean, he could do it magically.
Which would probably have been better for Tamara to not go to the other room to get to the wine. She should just made it out of barrels of water. But nonetheless, she was trusted with the task of going and refilling the party supplies with her cousin. She wants to keep the good times going. So I feel that whatever this beginning part of the dream symbolizes for her, things are going well.
Yeah.
Things are needing to be replenished, but it's not anything bad. It's like, typical party.
No, it's a good thing that people are having that much fun with something you're hosting, that it's a positive, but to run out is, again, a good thing.
Yeah, good thing.
But still an annoyance.
Sure. So then she takes her cousin, they find the wine, and then she hears this noise. And I think the interesting part of this dream is she sends her cousin upstairs. Is she, in her waking life, trying to take care of something herself? Is like that a personality trait of Tamara's? Yes. Is she more of a, I'm okay with protecting others, I'm going to take care of this situation, I don't need you here, kind of like a take care of the situation type of girl?
It sure feels that way. And I know we both can relate to that, where it's like, I'd rather keep my stress to myself and help somebody else and make sure everything else is okay than to, you know what I'm saying?
To bother others, yeah.
Than to bother anybody else. Yes, yeah. I get it.
And then we have this like awful attack on Tamara, unwarranted, out of the blue. This violent attack.
Violent randos on her steps.
Yeah, she's doing everything she can to fight back, which I think is always a great symbol in dreams. Mm-hmm. You are putting forth the effort and you're trying to do something. The one thing she does mention, and it was an interesting symbol to me, is she broke that. She said she broke the bourbon bottle, and she kept smashing into things, and things were breaking. And I just pictured like broken glass. And it's funny because last week's episode you talked about broken glass, so I'm going to reiterate what that means. It can be a reflection on your emotional state. So maybe things are so chaotic around her right now that she's just shattering almost from the inside out. She's just, it's very hard when you have all that pressure on you.
Her emotional well-being is very fragile at this point, and it doesn't take much to crack that.
Yeah, but she's doing her best. She's doing her best.
It, man. She's fighting till the end.
It's like this tag team of death on her. And it's not that they have like one way of killing her. They're coming at her from two different ways. One, she's being stabbed with a knife. Ow.
And then she's being choked.
And then she's being strangled with a wire. So I thought that was interesting. Like, what can those two ways of dying mean, and how are they different?
Okay. Yeah, let's hear it.
Being stabbed with a wife. Oh, they're dangerous.
Being stabbed with a wife.
I mean, we do have that icy glare sometimes. So
sometimes that's all it takes is that look.
Stabbed with your wife.
Either a mom look or wife look. The kids know. The husband or wife knows, depending on who you are. Ooh, that's a good look. Mm-hmm.
So being stabbed with a knife can mean some betrayal in your life. It's very personal. It's up close. Both of these ways of dying are very up close and personal. So is it a very inner circle type?
I do believe that. And, you know, as experts as we are, or non-experts as we are in true crime, we know that stabbing is a very close personal way to attack someone. And I would think like a garrote or whatever is they're using to strangle you is also, as opposed to like a gun, right? Which can be from a distance. But both of these are very close, very personal types of aggression.
So again, going back to the stabbing with a knife can be a sense of betrayal. You're feeling vulnerable. And I feel like, again, it's someone close to you. And being strangled, similarly, that closeness to have that, to inflict that damage, but also the helplessness, because not only are you unable to fight back, but you can't breathe in order to fight back. And maybe in that sense, going to the communication side of it, being around your throat, it can be a difficulty she's having with expressing some of her emotions. She feels like she's choking to get that stuff out. She can't say what she's trying to get out and maybe help herself with.
She feels totally powerless.
Now, and the thing that bothers me is no one is paying attention. They're like, oh, the wine came back. Fabulous.
Yes, the music's blasting. Great.
Pass the pigs in the blanket.
I get that they don't hear her struggle, but at the same time, it speaks volumes that they don't hear her struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know if you're going to get into that, but it's like at the same time, it's like they're having a great time. She's a great hostess and they all love her. But at the same time, she's being tortured and strangled and killed, which is some kind of opposition she's dealing with in her waking life.
Yeah. And is she internalizing those problems? You know, is she not being loud enough in what she's saying? Is she just kind of sweeping it under the rug, so to say, or going into the other room to then dealing with it? Even sending her cousin away. You know, when you hear a noise and you're kind of like, oh, what was that noise? Wouldn't you want someone to check it out with you? Whereas Tamara's like, I got it. You go.
I would always like to think that I would bring someone with me, but I know from past that I have investigated a strange noise, which could have ended up in any kind of horror movie, but I've been lucky that it hasn't been.
Not yet.
You should have someone back you up, especially if you have them there at your house.
Yes, that they're that close to you.
Yes,
that they're that close to you. And we talked about dying in a dream again, and some sort of life transformation. Can be relationship, job, school, home, or even just a part of yourself that's coming to an end and you have to transform in order to move on. But the thing that stuck with her was the violence of it. It was so
very
violent and so bloody.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take a little bit of a further step back, because I wrote down all the symbols, and then I just, of course, as I usually do, I'm driving. I drive a lot, and this dream's sticking with me, and I'm thinking, and something stuck out to me.
Okay.
This idea of draining. So 2 things are draining in this dream, or almost 3 things. 1, the wine, was just seen as a positive symbol. The wine is draining, and it's like, oh, I need to replenish. So if we think of Tamara as herself, you know, our bodies are kind of full, and as life happens, our energy and our levels in our bodies start to drain. It can happen 2 ways. It can happen, where you notice it and you try to take care of the situation right away by refilling the wine. But sometimes something happens, like a violent thing where you have no choice and you're drained from your blood. Literally, the blood is draining from her body, and it's red. And we were only talking about red wine.
Oh, good point, because I even said that. I'm like, are you a red wine drinker? Because I noticed you only mentioned red wine. And
so she mentioned Pinot Noir, Malbec, and Cab.
It's almost like she is putting the entertainment or the well-being of others in front of herself, because she wants to make sure they're still having fun, even though it's at the cost
taking
of
care of it
her
all.
Life and her breath.
And the bourbon was the other thing that was drained. That was a very specific. She specifically said, I grabbed the bourbon, I threw it at them, that smash and drain too. So there's 3 instances of draining, and I really feel that's about her self-energy, her self-care, whatever she's doing. It's a warning for her to not let it get to the point where it's the blood draining from her. It's literally overwhelming her, taking care of others instead of herself.
Yes, she needs to put herself first. I know it's a typical statement, but you can't help others until you help yourself. And I feel like she's an empath that just wants to do as much as she can to help others, but we have a very hard time stepping back and looking at the big picture because we're in the moment. We want to make everybody happy and everybody is fine, but we don't look at ourselves in these situations.
And it's not too late, I don't think, for Tamara. It was violent,
No.
but that's a way for her to wake up. But I feel like she needs to keep someone nearby. She needs to find that person she can confide in. She has to find that person that can help carry the wine. And
carry the wine. Mindy's my person to carry the wine.
I carry
Everyone
wine all the time.
Needs to find someone to help them carry the wine and bourbon without breaking it. And that's what she is looking for. And you know what? It's very hard to find, but there is someone out there.
Tamara, you got it. We know you got it. You'll figure it out. I hope you enjoyed your interpretation. And please invite us to your next party.
Yes, it sounds great. But
Brooke's bringing the... What are you bringing, Brooke? You're bringing the...
Oh, I'm going to bring some cucumber sandwiches and some rosé.
I'll get the bruschetta, and I will bring Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
We
got it.
We got
you, girl.
We
got you, girl. We're coming to your party.
Thanks, Tamara.
Thank you, Tamara. Oh, my
Question
God.
of the week.
All right, bestie. So it's now time for our question of the week, which has become, actually, because of Mindy, one of my favorite segments of our show.
We're still learning about each other after all these years.
We're still learning after all these 30 years. I love it. And we love that you can also participate and give us your feedback, what you think the answer would be, by going to Facebook and search for our Facebook group, REMelations Besties.
Be part of the conversation. Let us know how you answer.
Yes.
Let us know how you answer this week.
And again, no wrong answers here and no judgments here.
Okay.
Mindy and I have had some hefty conversations. We
disagree a lot.
Tend to disagree a lot on these.
Maybe this week.
Questions of the week.
What do you got for me?
Okay. Would you rather have all traffic lights you approach be green?
Okay.
Or never have to stand in line again?
That's a good one. I mean, that's...
It's tough.
I'm trying to see. I'm really thinking here, like, what's going to save me more time in the long run?
I know that's how you're thinking as a mom, I'm thinking of it completely differently.
I drive a lot, but I do not drive that much. I usually take back roads, so there's usually not a whole lot of stoplights.
Okay.
On the contrary, I don't stand in very many lines either. So I'm
Mindy's using her twisting logic to try to get out of the question.
Okay, I'll go stoplights because I do drive in the city and it does get annoying. So I'll say,
I was gonna say,
lights.
Not just with your kids, but you do go out and about. Other than that,
what about you?
I hate lines.
We're gonna disagree again, aren't we?
I didn't do it on purpose, but yes, I hate lines. I hate waiting in lines. Could you imagine if you had a concert ticket and you didn't have to wait in line?
Airplanes, get on the plane, movie.
Yes, okay.
There's lots of lines. I get it. I mean, I could go either way, but
I know I could go either way too. Because I don't where I live, Mindy's been there. I have one traffic light I usually have to deal with. But it's the longest traffic light in the history of the world. It's always red, no matter what direction I'm coming from to get home. But I still feel like I would take lines.
Okay. Bestie, let us know. Post in our group.
Let's hear it.
You know what else I'd like to hear is catnaps. Bestie, lucky for you, it's catnap time, which is the part of the show where we read a bunch of your dreams. They can be short one-sentence dreams, dream stories, or just something you want to share with us. Brooke, would you like to get started with this week's first catnap?
I would love to. This is Hannah, and she's from Duluth.
All right, Hannah. Oh, is it like Hannah?
Yes, you got it right.
Yeah, excellent.
I'm glad you asked. When I was in high school and during college, I had a series of dreams about being an exorcist. Not a priest.
Okay.
But where I exorcised possessed people I knew.
That's handy to have as a friend.
It's a good thing to have in your pocket and a good thing to know. Someone to know that can do this. Last night, I dreamed about my sister being possessed and I was doing her exorcism. The dream was so detailed that I even got to speak with the soul that possessed her.
Ooh.
I asked if she needed any help, and she told me the place where she had been buried by her mother, who had killed her because she was a person with special needs.
No.
And her mother couldn't accept her condition. This is heartbreaking.
That's awful. Yeah. I'm glad it's a dream.
Yeah, me too. In the dream, I cannot locate the place she told me, and I later discovered that she was buried somewhere between the 1970s and the 1980s.
Okay.
I even asked her if she wanted to be exhumed and be relocated, but she answered she just wanted to be prayed for, that her soul may rest in peace.
Yeah.
This is heartbreaking because there's so many real life stories of people getting rid of children or relatives that are just too much for them to handle because they don't take the time to learn.
Or they don't know the resources or don't have the money.
Resources,
so many reasons.
The money to help. And this is heartbreaking that she is cognizant enough, though, that she realizes this person does need help and is asking for help, but it's such a sad situation. So, Hannah, you have a good heart, and thank you for sharing your dream.
Well, a little bit of a gear change here. I am reading a dream from Emily from Springfield, Missouri. I had a weird dream last night. In my dream, my husband and I were sleeping in our bedroom when I saw some movement in the dark. I saw a small creature trying to escape through the window. My dad, who lives with us, went into our room and we turned on the lights. That's when we saw a female dwarf with only one eye, and the other eyeball was missing. She was as tall as a 1-year-old, but had adult features. Okay. We found out she was trying to rob us when we interrogated her. That's what I remember, and that's when I woke up.
That's a good one.
I don't care. I don't want any weird goblins in my room trying to steal my stuff.
I don't want anyone any shape or size stealing from me. Whether they have both eyes or not. No. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I'm saying no. I don't like it.
Thank you.
Mindy, this is in your neck of the woods. This is Jess from Chicago.
Excellent. Hi, Jess.
When the bus I was expecting was about to pull up, somebody was trying to attract my attention, but I was ignoring them. Later, I was on the bus and this person asked me why I wasn't speaking to them. I still didn't reply, but now I recognized him as my dad in his 30s.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I know. I wasn't born until my dad was about that age. He appeared to me in black and white and two-dimensional, like a photo. Everything else was 3D and color.
Weird.
And then I woke up.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Ooh, I like this one. This one's
good.
Interesting, isn't it? Ooh.
The fact he was, like 2D, so interesting.
He's standing out like, Here
I have Sierra from Memphis, Tennessee. So lately my dreams have been really different as I have given up smoking green and I'm getting into that deep REM state again.
Girl, I hear ya.
My dreams have been so vivid and wild like movies, I've started taking notes of exactly what I can remember when I wake up during the night. Good job. Everyone should have a dream journal next to their bed. If you don't, you can get one at REMelations.com/support. Last night, all throughout my dream, I kept looking down at my Apple Watch and kept receiving video messages from my dad. The messages were playing on my watch. It showed 3 of my aunties, all in our local pub, up and dancing.
Nice.
Dad's like, your aunts are having a great time.
I love it.
The weird thing is, one of the aunties was an auntie who died as a young girl and whom I've never met. She died when my dad was just a little boy, so there weren't any color photographs of her, and I've never seen her, and I had no idea what she would look like. So I don't know how my brain knew it, but that was her, and it did. Here's where it gets odd. The lady, who I knew was my dead auntie in the dream, had long, flowing red hair, which is unusual because all my other aunties have really dark hair. Anyway, today when I asked my dad about my aunt who had passed away and what she looked like, he immediately told her she had red hair. I was shook. How can this be possible if I've never seen the woman? I have absolutely no idea what she looked like in real life. Thanks for reading.
She might be a guardian angel. We don't know.
And she just comes through on your Apple Watch. That's how she's watching you. It just happens. Like, what a weird juxtaposition of technology and ghosts.
Like, yes, technology and ghosts. Yes, they go hand in hand, though, really.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got Kylie, and she's from Newport Beach. Kylie, can we come visit? Please?
Love the beach.
I would love
I'll
to.
bring a towel.
Mindy will bring her own towel. Did you hear that?
That's it.
We're no trouble at all. We're no trouble.
Don't worry about towel. I got it.
I will just bathe in the ocean. I don't even need you to provide anything. Okay, so Kylie from Newport Beach. Okay, so I had a dream where due to a sickness produced by a dog, which turned people into a fucking octopus of all things.
A fucking octopus or a fucking octopus?
A fucking octopus. Not a fucking octopus, but a fucking octopus of all things. And they were in the streets taking everyone. And eventually they took me.
Oh,
and
no.
And then I woke up.
It's hard.
No,
it's hard to get away. They've got a lot of arms.
They've got so many arms. You can't get away from that shit.
It's impossible to get away from an octopus. Everybody knows that. All right. This is Noah from Memphis, Tennessee.
No.
I'd like to go to Memphis. I've never been, but I want to try the food a lot. A lot of that food.
I want to go to Nashville first, but I know you've been there.
Yes, to bring you there, yeah.
A few times, but then I would also like to go to Memphis for the food.
The barbecue. All right. Noah says, I've had a lot of unsettling dreams yesterday, but there's only one I remember. Here it is. I was walking and someone hit me hard with a tennis ball in the back.
Ouch.
I swing around and look at him angrily, like, why are you doing that? And he hits someone next to me really hard too. Then I see him about to hit me again. I'm scared and keep saying, don't hit me.
Be nice. Be nice.
Okay, Roger Federline, just settle down over there.
What are you watching tennis or something?
No, but I think that's the only tennis person I can think of, and that's old, so I don't know.
And that's amazing that I even knew that was a sports thing, so all right.
Okay. Well, here's something strange. The guy next to me becomes The Rock Dwayne Johnson.
That's okay.
And he says the ominous trickster figure pelting us with the balls, hey, hit me as hard as you can. It's fine. It doesn't hurt me.
Whoa.
I mean, I can see that. Rock's like, I could bounce those tennis balls off my pecs.
He probably could be like, poop, 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 poop.
He could just like flex and just one bounces off his bicep. His eyebrow raises and one flies the other direction. One
flies in the eyebrow, a couple off the pecs. Like, he has a lot of control over his body.
He does. He does. Hit me. So he's taunting the trickster to hit him instead. So instead of me getting hit again, The Rock gets pelted super hard with a tennis ball. This time in the butt. I'm sure that's tight too. I'm sure that would just fly right off.
You know what? Tennis balls in the butt.
That old chestnut. I can see this horrible bleeding mark the tennis ball had left.
Oh, no.
And the hole through his clothes where he got hit really hard. And even left a hole in his pants. It all makes me feel so anxious and paranoid as it's happening. I get hit very hard as well. And I sense that it didn't hurt the rock. And he's just, no. Let me say that again. I then got hit again hard. But I sense the rock was hurt. He was just pretending it didn't.
Oh, he's a strong boy.
He's just a softie. You know that rock.
He's
rock for a reason.
Trying his best, but it hurts, but he doesn't want to admit it.
He's
those tennis balls in the butt. Tennis balls in the butt are always a little painful.
How fast is that tennis ball traveling is my question.
It depends on how strong the serve is or the hit is, I guess.
Strong. If it hurts the rock in the butt, it's got to be a very solid serve. It
is a solid serve. That is what we call what is it called? Love. 40 love is what we call that.
40 love.
40 love.
Love the butt.
Love deuce.
Do you have one more for us?
I do have one more. This is Samantha, another Sam, but it's a Samantha from Indianapolis.
Got it.
The title of her dream is Nightmare or Paranormal Event.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Ready? That's interesting.
I had a weird dream where I was a kid again, playing in a park, until I felt a hand touch my shoulder. When I looked back, I saw a paramedic, and behind him was an ambulance, and my mom was crying.
Oh.
He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You have 11 minutes to live."
What? No, there's not enough to do in 11 minutes. Wait, Brooke, 11 minutes. What are you doing? 11 minutes. You can't go anywhere.
I'm having a Maxwell Street Polish from Portillo's.
You're not by Portillo's.
Oh, no. Then I'm going to ask to speak to the people that I love the most. What are you going to do?
Same. I think you'd have to do the same. Like, that's all. Yeah. 11 minutes is not enough time. Every person gets like 1 minute.
No. Yeah, that's not enough. But when I looked back at where I was playing, I noticed that I had left a trail of blood where I was running. I started panicking, breathing heavy. Then I woke up, and here comes the paranormal part.
Oh, okay.
I was still a bit dazed, and I felt that one of my legs was not touching the bed, as if someone was holding it up. When I snapped out of the daze, my leg fell back down on the bed. Till this day,
Weird.
I can't explain what happened. That's why I don't know if it was a nightmare or my subconscious warning me that I was in danger.
Oh, yeah, you bet. Good thing you woke up.
Oh, yeah. What was that thing doing with her leg?
Could you imagine? Like, it's floating. It's like up. Oh, I don't like that idea.
I don't like it either, Mindy. I do not
11 minutes. I'm going to go get Mulder and Scully, and that 11 minutes, I'm calling them and giving them all the information, my location, and then that's all. You think
they can make it from D.C. to Indianapolis in 11 minutes?
Maybe. They work for the X-Files, Brooke. We don't know how their time travel works. Maybe they have secrets. I hope.
You're absolutely right, Mindy. I should have never questioned you.
Well, I liked that one, though. I did like that dream.
But that is Samantha from Indianapolis. So thank you for sharing.
Speaking of sharing, we want you to share this podcast with one of your friends. You can share this podcast with a complete stranger, or you can share this podcast with an exorcist. It could be a priest. It could be just a random person that's just learning their exorcist abilities. But we want you to share it with just one person. That's how we grow, Bestie. That's how we keep coming back each and every week, is by you spreading the word. Spread the word.
So, Mindy, I have a topic today. I want to talk about the Joplin butterfly people. Have you heard of this before?
I have no idea what this is. No.
I love it. Okay. And I'm just hitting the tip of the iceberg with this, but I'm going to give you a little background on the Joplin, Missouri tornado.
Oh, yes. Terrifying.
Yes, I know you'll love this. Okay, just stick with me. Stick with me through this journey.
Can I hashtag
please,
someone?
Go ahead.
Because it reminds. Okay, So, as you know, Twisters is my favorite movie, although I don't want to see actual destruction in real life. I have always been fascinated by tornadoes, etc.
Twister.
Twisters. Well, Twister is my original. Yes, the original.
Yes, because it's not Twisters, because Mindy, we can talk about that on a different level, but Twister is fantastic.
Okay, Twisters.
If you can get by my tone, that Twisters, not my favorite.
Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree. I enjoyed it.
Did you see it?
Yes, my daughter and I.
Oh, of course, we don't agree on.
We're not agree, and it's also you have to go into mind with it's a sequel. You can't.
I get it. I get it, Mindy. I get all of it.
But can I hashtag someone?
You sure can.
And I'm going to do this for my youngest because she's got the biggest crush.
Oh, I know who it's going to be.
Hashtag.
Go.
What does Glen Powell dream?
Hashtag what does Glen Powell dream? Oh,
because
boy.
She's 15 and has completely obsessed with. I'm like, girl, he's a little old for you, but completely obsessed.
He is hot and charismatic, and I get why he was cast in his role. And I,
Brooke, we're asked. No, you cannot do that because we want him to answer this call. So Glen.
That's true. I don't blame him. I don't blame. Okay.
Let us know what you sleep. What you sleep. Let us know what you sleep and dream, Glen.
Let us know where you sleep and what you sleep in, if anything.
And my daughter's too young for you, but Brooke's not too young for you. So there's that.
I'm not too young. I'm very old, and I am all about whatever you need to teach me.
Okay, sorry to derail it so early, but I just you got me thought about tornadoes and my mind.
That's okay. That's why I brought it up, because we are talking tornadoes.
Okay. Joplin, Missouri.
And I knew you'd have some interest in this. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is a tornado I've been interested in for over a decade. And I have been looking into recent videos. Well, not recent videos, but videos recently of the Joplin tornado and all of it. Like, I've gone into a rabbit hole with tornadoes in general recently.
Easy to do.
So first, a little background on the Joplin tornado.
Yes.
It's just a really scary one. First, I'm just going to kind of go over the basics, which is just found on Wikipedia. But I really, really suggest that people do a search on YouTube for the Joplin 2011 tornado, just so you can see for yourself the total destruction, because you don't understand the devastation unless you see it for yourself.
Yeah. And we'll post some pictures on the website and in our Facebook group as well. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I have some links as well. The 2011 Joplin tornado was a large and devastating multi-vortex tornado that struck Joplin, Missouri in the United States on the evening of Sunday, May 22nd, 2011.
Okay. 2011.
And it was part of a larger late May tornado outbreak. The EF5, Mindy.
Mm-hmm.
The EF5 tornado began just west of Joplin and intensified very quickly, reaching a maximum width of nearly 1 mile and 200 mile per hour winds.
That is just
during its
blows my mind. That it was that wide.
It's mind-boggling.
Horrible.
It's 1 mile wide and 200 mile per hour width. It's huge, a huge tornado.
Devastating. Yeah.
And in its path, through the southern part of the city, the tornado devastated a large portion of the city of Joplin, damaging nearly 8,000 buildings.
Wow.
And of those, destroying over 4,000.
Just think of how much debris is flying in that tornado when it hits that much structure.
So much. And that's what causes even more damage. Okay, we can talk about the Fujita scale all we want, Mindy. You and I know.
The enhanced Fujita?
But the enhanced, this is an EF5. So this is an enhanced, I knew you know, enhanced Fujita. And I still to this day think tornadoes need to be graded or rated on something other than their total damage. Because let's say it was a 300-mile tornado, it would be the strongest tornado recorded, but it might be in a rural area and not cause any damage. But there should be other ways to measure. It's interesting
how it's different than hurricanes, which are strictly by wind speed.
Exactly, by wind speed. And I feel like this should be too, but there's so much left to be learned about tornadoes and the study of tornadoes that it is crazy that we just go by what they damage. And that's horrific because
that's a lot of damage.
We need to learn more about tornadoes in general. Okay, I'm not going to get into a spiel about this because all we have is the Fujita scale and the enhanced Fujita scale, which goes by like destruction of property, basically, is what we're going to say. Okay. The tornado devastated a large portion of the city of Joplin, damaging nearly 8,000 buildings. And this isn't a big city, Mindy.
Right.
And of those, destroying over 4,000. So that's like 50%.
Yeah. Yeah.
The damage, which included major facilities like one of Joplin's 2 hospitals, as well as much of its basic infrastructure, amounted to a total of $2.8 billion. Making the Joplin tornado the costliest single tornado in U.S. history.
Yep.
The insurance payout was the highest in Missouri history, with the previous record of $2 billion being the hailstorm of 2001.
Okay.
So the devastating tornado claimed 161 lives, which is a lot, especially in the U.S.
I mean,
making it one of the...
That is a lot because, I mean, you think some people are seeking shelter, but it was just so devastating that some of it didn't matter.
It was so big. It was so big it didn't matter. Yeah. So making it one of the single deadliest U.S. twisters since 1953.
Yeah.
The Joplin tornado was only the second EF5 tornado to strike Missouri since 1950. It was the 7th deadliest tornado in U.S. history and the 27th deadliest in world history.
Wow.
This was a biggie, Mindy.
Okay. Yeah,
this was a biggie.
That is huge.
Okay, so why talk about this other than tornado season is kind of over? I mean, if you talk about the typical tornado season, it's kind of over, but they can happen at any time. As mentioned before, I've just been watching a lot of tornado videos, and along with going to see Twisters, which is one of the biggest movies in the country right now. For the United States, this massive loss of life and property damage, there were also over 1,000 injured, like over 1,200 injured even.
I mean, that's just, it's, and how do you even keep up with that as like rescue services? I mean, I remember it went on for days. No.
And it's like a war zone. It really is.
Yeah.
And what many thought were just victims dreaming. Here we go. Here's the connection. Okay.
Interesting.
What many thought were just victims dreaming after the event. But I want to talk about the phenomenon known as the butterfly people of Joplin.
I have no idea what this is.
And there are links. There will be links in the show notes. I'm going to go over kind of 2 different articles. One's 10 years after the fact, and one was like 1 year after the fact.
Okay.
But the story is pretty much the same. So the first one is kind of an account from a resident who no longer lived there, but is kind of this is 10 years after the fact, going back and looking at what actually happened. So this is an account by Stephen Rowland, and this is from April of 2021.
Okay.
So May 22nd, 2011 is a date that most people around the town of Joplin remember very well. It was on that day that an F5 tornado destroyed 900 homes, killed 161 people, and left a landscape behind that resembled a barren planet. Mm-hmm. I remember watching the TV as images of the devastation were shown. It was of particular interest to me because the church denomination that I attended in my childhood had its headquarters in Joplin, and the town's population is overwhelmingly Christian. So what I didn't see on the mainstream media were the descriptions of the butterfly people. So there was a TV series called Monsters and Mysteries in America, and they had a short documentary about these apparitions not so long ago, which piqued his interest. And that's why he decided to go back and explore this story. The stories were told mainly by small children to parents in hospital waiting rooms, standing in lines for water or donated food, and to Red Cross counselors. Multiple children of varied ethnicities and socioeconomic status told eerily similar stories of seeing beautiful humanoid creatures with wings hovering over certain children and parents in that storm in a protective manner. They were described as colorful and pretty, so children called them butterfly people.
Wow, okay.
Most of these stories had common elements. The tornado hit their home. Often parents were praying. The roof was ripped off. Children saw a butterfly person descending down from the sky, covering them with wings. And those particular children usually emerged from the wreckage in good condition.
Wow. Oh, okay. I'm getting chills.
I know. Another version states that children saw butterfly people carrying other kids and adults up into the heavens. The ones who didn't make it out alive.
Oh.
I know. This is intense.
Can't we save them all? Butterfly people, can you instead protect all of them, perhaps?
Please, next time, can you get some of your buddies to come and just protect everyone?
We have to have a phone tree of butterfly people, so butterfly person number 1 can contact butterfly
people
person number 2
need to be included on this phone tree in the future.
You have to have a Virgo butterfly person number 1 to create this phone tree, and we'll work on that for next time, I hope.
And then after that, we'll just work on it as we can. About 1/2 of the children were counseled at Joplin Child Trauma Treatment Centers set up in the schools afterwards. The clinical director, Danielle Robinson, heard these stories firsthand from many different children. And like we said earlier, many different children of many different socioeconomic backgrounds, racial backgrounds, just all over the board, just children.
Can you imagine, the first one comes in, you're like, oh, that's an interesting story. The next one comes in, you're like, that's interesting.
That's nice,
and then,
sweetheart.
By the 10th, you're like, what the hell is happening?
What?
Yeah.
Many of these children stated that they somehow knew these butterfly people were there to calm them and help keep them safe. So Todd C. Frankel of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch wrote an article about these apparitions entitled The Butterfly People of Joplin, and this was just several months after the tornado. He describes former newspaper reporter Marta Churchwell's investigation and interviews with people. Marta is a natural skeptic and did not believe in angels. Okay, we get that. We're our X-Files fan here. After numerous interviews, she cannot discount the possibility because so many children who didn't know each other told similar stories.
Mm-hmm.
A book was written about these interviews entitled Butterflies at the Window, a story of butterfly people and miracles in the storm. And butterfly murals came to dominate the town along with butterfly sculptures, paintings, t-shirts, and business signs. Psychiatrists were quick to discount the phenomenon in the aftermath as simply products of the children's imagination due to stressful trauma, a way of helping to cope emotionally. But that doesn't sound very convincing to me, says the author of this article. All those children describing the same thing independently? Yeah. I've always believed that small children and animals, like dogs and cats, because I've seen it, are able to see supernatural apparitions more readily than skeptical adults, perhaps because of their innocence or lack of formal education, which in our modern society is steeped in anti-supernaturalism. It's true. There always needs to be a scientific reason for everything, you know?
I'd like to go to the supernaturalism era.
Yes. Welcome to the other side of things.
Mm-hmm. Nothing changes a skeptic more than like a personal experience, though.
Right. Yes. It's more compelling to me since these small children didn't have any theological training and didn't even know to use the term angel. Yeah. The adults had to figure that out. Right. But these eyewitness accounts are fascinating to read, and it's a shame that mainstream media avoid these eyewitness testimonials because of a fear of being made to look foolish or unprofessional. Yeah. The vast majority of these accounts were given by very small children who obviously were not colluding with each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was excerpts from an article from about 10 years later. Now, this article, I'm going to read some firsthand experiences that was just about a year later from, it was actually about 6 months later from the actual event.
Okay.
So one news story describes a mother and her preschool-aged daughter who ran from their car as the twister closed in on them. Together, they fell to the ground, and the mother tried her best to cover her daughter.
Oh, God.
The mother watched the tornado send their car flying in their direction and braced for the result. But it never came, and both emerged unharmed. Oh, afterwards, the daughter asked if her mother thought they, in quotes, were pretty. The mom asked who was pretty. The little girl responded by asking if her mother had also seen the butterfly people. In another version, the reporter writes the daughter described seeing the butterfly people lifting men and women into the sky. Yet another account concerns a man and 2 young boys. They also were trapped outside during the tornado. In most retellings, the wind was, like we said, was 200 miles per hour, was powerful enough to rip the sole from the man's shoes. But no one was injured.
That visual is just killing. That's a really powerful.
It's crazy, right?
Visual. Yeah.
The author writes,
I'm clenching all my muscles reading this or listening to this. I'm like, tornadoes is scary.
Tornadoes do this to me every time. The author writes that they were preschool age boys said that they saw butterfly people protecting them from above. Oh. It's also been said that the butterfly people are the only way we can really honestly understand how more people weren't killed. When you walk through what was left, it's just kind of took your breath away, people said. It was just nothing. And there was no understanding how anyone could have possibly survived the path of that destruction. Emily Huddleston, who was 14 on that fateful day, says she understands completely. She was traveling with her mother across town when the tornado lifted their vehicle and sent it soaring hundreds of yards through the air. Emily's leg was impaled in the resulting crash, and she spent weeks in treatment and healing. But during the ensuing months, as she walked through the barren landscape that had been her home and neighborhood, Emily said she noticed that butterflies, seemingly from out of nowhere, were continually either landing on her or circling her. In a video on the internet, she explains with tears there was no logical reason for the butterflies to even be there. No bushes, trees, or anything to naturally attract them. For her, she says those butterflies are a sign that angels are still there and watching over them. They're not leaving, she says. And again, this was just 6 months after the incident.
I mean, hopefully they will never have such a devastating... Like, these butterfly people can protect that town from ever experiencing anything. I mean, I can't even imagine how your town would just rebuild from that.
It's hard. It's hard, but it's a community effort. And this community really seemed to... I mean, like they said, it's a very Christian community. So the belief in angels and otherworldly, like, protection helped the situation. But it also brought as much scrutiny as it did belief. But the community still stuck together in belief, because it's these kids. There's not really any adults.
And the ages are interesting, from preschool age to young, like a
14,
teenager.
Yeah. And some therapists who visited with many of these Joplin children likely would say the protective butterfly people are a natural way of trying to comprehend such a disaster in understatable terms. So like most people, this author is at a loss where the truth lies in this story. And I get it.
Sure, somewhere.
People are going to believe, people aren't going to believe. There's always going to be questions. But in Joplin today, a mural titled Butterfly Effect Dreams Take Flight covers one wall at 15th and Main Street. And that was a collaboration, I believe, of over 200 locals, most of which were children, and then the muralist himself who ended up painting it. But it all came about because so many people had these experiences with the butterfly people.
I'm going to pull it up. I just want to take a look at this, and I'll explain it to our besties.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just pulled up I was curious. So I pulled up the image. The mural is probably 12 feet tall, and it's this beautiful, large butterfly, and it's so colorful. There's flowers. Every part of its wings is a different pattern and a different color combination. It is really beautiful. It looks like there's another one, too. It looks like there's more than one in town. This other one has kids, and it has a butterflies going over the city, and just like the shadows, even like the shadow of the butterflies over, the parts of the mural. It's
the protection, the protection of the city. Yeah. And I think that since that happened, since the mural, which was about 6 or so months after, but like you said, I think the butterfly people have become synonymous with Joplin, and they have kind of incorporated it into their community and their city and have really embraced it, which is really comforting because so many people jump to disbelief. And Mindy and we are I want to believe type people, and
no, it's beautiful. It's so neat to see. Like, it looks like it's incorporated throughout the city. It's not just like something that was brought up by some kids that was like, okay, kids, okay. It wasn't dismissed. It's so easy as adults to dismiss children and what they see.
It sure
is. If
you
sit and you listen to children, especially children who have probably lost friends and family and their school and everything they ever had known, they're just speaking their truth. And the whole community getting behind that is really interesting.
It's very interesting. And like one of the people in the article said was, you look for an explanation why more people didn't die. When she was walking through the debris path and the destruction.
Yeah.
She's like, it just doesn't make sense why more people didn't die from this massive EF5 tornado.
Yeah. Wow.
And
incredible.
It just makes you think, like, maybe there is something else out there. Maybe there are butterfly people. And again, why they are protecting some and not the others, we can't explain. But at the same time,
they're going to work on that. They're going to get their phone tree, Brooke. They're going to get their phone tree so everyone can get there on time.
They're going to get their butterfly.
And protect everyone. We're going to get them.
They're going to get everyone protected. But, like, yes, it is fascinating to think.
Beautiful
like,
story.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful story. And I kind of want to keep on top of it. I want to watch the documentary that came out last year and just see how the people of Joplin are doing a decade later. Yeah. I know they've had smaller tornadoes since, but like still it's an interesting phenomenon because you don't hear of the butterfly people anywhere else. Like it's just in Joplin.
Stay safe out there. Watch the weather. Keep your phone charged.
Listen to it.
Get to the basement.
Take cover.
If you know there's bad weather coming, don't leave the house. Stay home. Your groceries are not that important. Here's an interesting story for you, Brooke. So a couple weeks ago, Mark and I were shooting a wedding. It was at a venue that was not far from our house, maybe 20 minutes away. Not bad. We got done shooting about 9:15. And this was a day where I think it was the Big Duray show day or around that time where there's supposed to be lots of bad storms. We were going to leave the venue when our phones went off and said there was a tornado warning. And so we're like, oh, shit, we are not leaving. And we look outside and it's like pouring rain. It is going insane out there. Now, here's the thing I did not like and will never recommend the venue for is tornado warning in the town we are at. Not just like the county, but the town we're in. And they didn't warn guests. The DJ was upstairs dancing. They were in a room, a second floor with glass windows, and they're not.
No one had their
phones
not taking the guests
they were
down. Dancing.
No, they did. They just didn't. I don't know. I feel like it was such. If something happened to where this venue was, it would have been lawsuits and devastating. So Mark and I wait around because we're not driving through this, and we wait for an extra hour almost until like everything's past where we were. We start driving down the main street of this town called Elburn, and sure enough, find out the next day a tornado did hit the town. An EF0, not huge, but an EF0 hit the town. No. There was trees down on Main Street. There was no power on like 2 blocks down from where the venue was, and these people were just partying, having a good time. I'm like, no
clue.
Take this seriously. Take this seriously. It's so dangerous.
Yeah, and that is the thing that gets me because my parents always laugh at me. Like, no matter where I've lived, besides Arizona, but whether it was Chicago
not so many
or
tornadoes in Arizona,
or
sure.
Dubuque, whenever there's a tornado warning, I will herd my cats, which is not an easy thing to do, into a closet or into a bathroom, and I will sit there. And they've always laughed at me for that. And this last one we had just like a week ago, I got 2 of my cats down into my garage. Like there's a room off my garage that has to be like the sturdiest room
it's
ever.
It's kind of built into a hill. So it is cement.
It's kind of built into a hill, yes. So I got 2 of them down there. I couldn't get the third one, which was Haddonfield, Mindy. And they didn't like it. They were howling. But you know what? I was thrilled to at least get 2 of them down there because I felt a little safer when we had a tornado warning. And although nothing happened to my home, and although the majority of the time nothing happens with these warnings, you can't let that make your decision for you. When there is a warning,
sense
people,
of security.
Please be safe. Yes, I know you hear
That's why I'm like told Mark as we were driving through this town, I'm like, good thing we didn't leave when we were like, we just wanted to go home. We were done working. We were exhausted. But good thing we didn't.
You were tired.
Because it would have been really awful
But
timing.
you follow the sirens, whether a tornado actually maybe hits or not. It's there for a reason. It's there to warn you. Heed its warning, people, please. Yeah. Whether you've heard it 100 times and nothing's happened or not, it's there for a reason.
Beautiful,
please take shelter.
As beautiful as those butterfly people are, we do not want to see them in real life.
We don't want them to have to be there.
And Glen Powell, please let us know if you've seen any butterfly people and what you dream.
Yes, please. Please and thank you.
Beautiful story, but you know what else is beautiful?
What?
You and your mama. I heard you guys hung out. I heard you texted me you had a mom and daughter day.
We did. We drove about 2 hours away, and we spent the night at a casino resort, and we had a great time. I lost $100 in about 15 seconds, and I'm not even joking, but that's me. But then
just going all in, fast, furious.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible that this always happens. And then, like, I found this machine, and I'm like, Mom, this is the machine. And
okay, question. What type of machine is it? Are we talking?
We're talking a penny
old
slot.
School reels? Okay.
It was a modern one with modern bonuses, and it was called Pinata Party or Fiesta.
Nice. Okay. Woohoo.
And it had a bunch
Brooke
of different
loves
bonuses.
A party.
And I do. And
it makes sense.
I walked by it and I'm like, I think this is the one, but I didn't play it. I played this Frankenstein machine, and then I played another machine, lost money instantly. She sits down at this machine and just starts winning like crazy. And I'm like, goddamn mother effer.
The machine that you had a good feeling about.
The machine I had a good feeling about, but didn't play.
Yeah, okay.
And then, the best part was we had the most amazing dinner at Christie's Steakhouse.
Yum.
And we had some filet lollipops, but other than that, we just had seafood, fresh seafood, and it was the best.
Nothing better than a good meal.
We sat down, we each ordered a drink, we each ordered a cocktail, not even wine, but then the waiter brings us this bottle of rosé and says, someone bought this bottle of rosé for you. And we're like,
what? What? Are you in Vegas? Did you just
no
find some millionaire?
And we're like, it wouldn't be Brett or my dad because they wouldn't do something like that. And so I texted my ex, Chad, who knew I was going to be there, and it was from him. He had sent me and my mom a bottle of rosé.
Okay, if you can see my face right now, Bestie, I'm like, it's a move to get back into good graces.
It is
Exes
a move.
Are hard. I understand that.
It is a move.
Well played.
Well played, my friend. Well played.
To wine and dine mom and your ex. But
I agree.
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
It was definitely a move.
Being honest.
It was definitely a move. But we ended up just taking our time, and we spent 2 hours at dinner, just slowly talking, drinking wine, eating. Like, we didn't rush anything.
Yeah, it's always
And
nice.
Then afterwards,
a good meal should take 2 hours, I feel like.
It should.
A good meal, as long as you tip appropriately for taking up the table that long.
Of course.
But like,
and we didn't.
It's so nice to take your time.
It was a Thursday night, so I don't feel like we were taking tables because there were still open tables. Otherwise, I would have felt badly. But it was just so lovely. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go play that fucking pinata machine one more time.
Okay. Oh,
and that's when my mom ended up with her $72 win.
She was up 70. Nice.
Yes, and I got my $200 win, which was about $100.
So you netted $100, which is good.
But we were sitting next to each other, and both of our machines were hitting, and we couldn't believe it. And
I could just hear the screams from here.
I was gonna say, you know how loud I am
And your mom is equally loud.
My mom's equally loud. And we were clapping and screaming. So people started like gathering around thinking we probably won $10,000. And it's like, no, it's
just $70.
We were so excited we didn't care. Like we were clapping along to the music, and
I got some pictures. I got a picture of you and Mom, and you guys just look like you're having the best.
We did. We had the best time. And then
can I share that with our bestie?
Of course.
Of course.
I want the besties to see. Nice. So it was just a lot of fun. It was a fun night. But what I really want to hear about is your sister's wedding planning, because it's coming up soon, 3 months.
Yes. Brooke is very concerned about timeline.
I am very concerned because it's less than 3 months now. But I know that Mindy
we're down to like 2 months.
2 months.
Literally. 2 months and 5 days.
Mindy is on top of it, so I know it's going to go okay, but I just want to make sure Mindy's okay. So how's it all going, Mindy?
Well, no, I'm loving it. Brooke and I, you know us, we are type A Virgos. We have lists. We're to make sure things are done. Don't worry about it. But the thing is my little sister is also a Virgo.
Mm-hmm,
she is a different type of Virgo. She is not as list orientated as I would be, I think, but she likes to have things prepared and ready. So I have been sending her, I've started like this whole Apple Notes shared document that I'm like, need a decision. And then I'd put a question like, are we doing an aisle runner or are we not? Need a decision. Are the guys getting boutonnieres or no? Especially being in the wedding industry for the last 10 years.
Mindy knows.
I have a lot of questions. There's a lot of things that she doesn't even know she doesn't know. So I told her, I said, if I'm annoying you, please tell me to stop. I am okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
But you're an invaluable resource at this point that she might not even realize she has.
Yeah. Like we were talking about aisle runners, and she's like, I think I'd like to have an aisle runner. And I'm like, okay, are you going to pre-place it down or is someone going to bring it out before you walk down? Is everyone walking it or is it just you? And she's like, well, I would think it would just be down before. I'm like, great. We have to make sure it is secure at the top behind the officiant because I've seen so many brides trip down an aisle runner. So we have to worry about how we're fixing it to the cement. Like, just, I can't help myself.
Yes, because it's an outdoor wedding too. And Mindy knows all of the details, whether it's inside or outside, what's going to be complicated, what's not. Like,
so it's fun. I'm enjoying doing this with her. And I was back a couple weeks ago to do some dress shopping, and we found the dress. She is beautiful. We found one we liked at the first store a lot, but then she found one she liked at the second store. As soon as I saw her walk out of the like dressing area, and she's just like grinning, I'm like, that's the one. That's the one.
She's got, by their face.
She couldn't stop smiling. So
I love it.
We found the dress, and then of course she asked me to be maid of honor or matron of honor.
Yeah.
And so she actually made me a little like bridesmaid proposal box, and it's hilarious because on the top of it says, "Bitch, you knew. Would you be my matron of honor?" Like,
I knew she was gonna ask. That's the best.
Yeah. So now we are busy planning bridesmaid dresses that have to get ordered as soon as possible.
Within 2 months. Within 2 months.
And alterations. And we have to worry about photography because I'm not shooting. I'm taking the day off.
Mindy,
so I'm helping her vet.
Take the day off.
I am. I'm going to be drunk after my speech, but not before.
But not
it's
before.
Very important. No, I have seen many drunk speeches.
You're going to be worried too much about what happens before your speech.
Yep.
And I want you to take it as easily as possible, but I know you won't.
But how do you put everything you love about your sister into a 3-minute speech? Like I got to start working on it. As planning as I am, this is the one thing I will probably put off to like the day before because I don't want to address it.
Speeches are hard though, Mindy. Like you do really have to kind of wait till the last minute to see how you really feel.
I've heard so many, and I've heard bad ones, and I've heard great ones, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself for it. So
yes,
I don't know.
You are.
It'll all get done. We actually, after our like time tonight, our recording tonight, I am hopping on a Zoom with them so we can talk about photographers. So,
but Mindy,
I like a wedding planner.
Just remember, as someone that's been to a lot of,
what?
I mean,
12.
I
You've been in.
I think it's 14.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And you've been to way more weddings, but
You've been in more.
I've been in more, but you've been to more.
Yes.
The best speeches are kind of short and sweet. And
agreed.
Yes, it's great to throw in an inside joke or two, but the speeches that are all inside jokes never land, and it's always uncomfortable. So.
And you have to mention the partner. You can't just talk about the person,
right?
You know, it's like there's been so many that like they don't even mention the partner. I'm like, how do you not mention the partner?
No, exactly. That's half the bridal part. I mean, that's the bride and the groom, the groom and the groom, the bride and the bride. However it is, you have to mention the partner. You do, people.
So we have a list. We're going to get through it. I'll let you know what color we decide for bridesmaid dresses, hopefully by tomorrow. Because I'm going to make her make a decision. We have to get these
know by tomorrow, and please let me know.
I know. I already sent you the picture of the swatches. I know you have
I know the swatches, but I need to know the final swatch color because it's driving me crazy.
All right, Bessie, that wraps up an episode. I had so much fun with you tonight. I always do. Thank you, Brookie, for being my best friend.
I love you so much. And Bestie, until next week, keep those tennis balls out of your butt. Just keep them out.
Flex, squeeze, pinch a penny.
Squeeze, pinch, whatever you got to do, keep them out of your butt. And
sweet
dreams, bitches. We did a double, Mindy. It's always exhausting when we do it, but we did.
I know. All right, done. I gotta make some dinner.